Yes, out of a moment in our kwaba. Over platform we so host NaCCA and I want to make a born in puno out of war. NSC see am nemoka say I'm LGBTQ plus man see a moo any man see a moo gayism and lesbianism no see the I a camia kwa say indirectly Ghana ya jatum say it me practice and for young kwan some so the sounds and family.
Reverend Team for Joy is unhappy about a document that I just popped up at the Ministry of Education. There's a lot of conversation on it on social media. Reverend, what document is it and what are you unhappy about?
Yeah, good evening, Paul. I'm really excited to be here on your show, and a good evening to our cherished viewers. It's really appalling, it's really disappointing that a very dangerous introduction has been smuggled into our schools. The introduction of LGBTQ elements, the education of sexuality related to LGBTQ promotion, and it didn't find expression in no main teaching and learning material than teacher manual. You know, so this teacher manual in physical education and health, the elective one, is the guide, the teaching guide, is the pedagogical guide, is what tells the teacher how and what you must teach your learners and your students. It also provides the framework of fundamental definitions and concepts within the subject and what you have to teach them. And when we do this, we break them in various weeks. So every week there's what you have to teach them. And rather sadly, the physical education and health elective for senior high schools in my hand, when you turn to page 3, the week 1 schedule, NDC have managed to smuggle in LGBT elements and now telling teachers that, for instance, gender identity, which in our constitution, in our 1992 Republican Constitution, the 4th Republican Constitution, and our laws, fundamental laws, recognize the binary nature of gender, being male and female assigned at birth. Now, here the definition they are asking the teachers to teach them. It refers to a person's deeply felt internal experience of gender, which may or may not correspond with the sex assigned at birth. So right at the beginning, you are confusing these young ones between the ages of 13 to 19, most vulnerable group of people who oftentimes become the victims. The age group studies have indicated become victims of this LGBT madness and confusion. You are further confusing them and promoting to them and letting them understand, because these are things you would want them to write back at you.
When does this document come?
This was produced in 2025 by the Ministry of Education. 2025.
Under the minister,
under this current government, NDC government. And these were recently distributed to schools. And these teachers have received them. And Paul, week 1 is already gone. So these teachers have already taught these students these strange, bizarre concepts. They have also further told them that sexual rights, a whole lot of definitions, the sexual rights definitions, and they are telling them that you can do anything as you feel, and you will be protected. There's no discrimination. I mean, very bizarre. And we are asking them, where did they get this concept from? Because you cannot be teaching students something that is not approved in the curriculum. And you cannot be smuggling in foreign and alien, diabolic, vile, evil concepts and introduce them to our schools, print them with taxpayers' money, distribute them, when NaCCA, under the Ministry of Education, is the body mandated to ensure that strange and unapproved contents don't get into our schools.
And this is a product of NaCCA?
This is a product of NaCCA. This is a product of NaCCA. You can see the front page is a NaCCA approved. And you see the framework of approval. I have spent 4 years at the Ministry of Education as Deputy Minister. And we understand how this curriculum development and its implementation works. Any concept that has to be taught must first be developed into the curriculum. And when you develop the curriculum, you now have to produce teaching and learning material, teacher guide, teacher manual, and textbooks, supplementary books as well. And any material that must arise from the curriculum must be approved by NaCCA to ensure that it aligns with the framework provided within the curriculum. So if you come in to issue, we developed up to year 1 manual before we left office. So when NDC came into power, 2025, January, they started the development of the year 2 manual. And sometime around June, July last year, they were able to finish it, and then they printed it. The question is, which minister gave the approval? Who checked it? And which agency, which officer, the Director General of NaCCA, what job did he do in checking that all the textbooks and all the teacher manuals that have been printed and being authorized and distributed to schools meet the standards? So this is a deliberate attempt by government. Paul, LGBT agenda is not a low-level implementation. It's not a low-level agenda. It is a high-level agenda. And I am surprised that at a time when President Trump has even given a different dimension into how countries must even view LGBT matters, and even in his own country clamping down on the LGBT, he has further issued a foreign policy directive to all his envoys, all his ambassadors in various countries, that how they must even relate to other countries where they have been assigned, and that on basis where some countries even try to promote LGBT, it would provide basis for sanctions to be applied by the United States of America. So that should have been good news for President Mahama. This is a season where he should even be bold to preserve our conservative values. This is not a time that he should be introducing LGBT into our textbooks, into our schools. So the dangerous thing is that the parent who is sleeping because he knows that they've sent their wards to SHS, public schools, and they know even a private school textbook must be approved by NaCCA if it's a GS curriculum, and knows that, well, free SHS, NaCCA is there, Ministry of Education is there, they have the safeguards, they will ensure only approved content gets there, is sleeping, and their child is consuming this material. Teachers are being directed that this is the definitions that you must teach to promote LGBT, to promote transgender, to promote any absurd feelings that are not authorized by our constitution and recognized by our beliefs. And this dangerous introduction, as we speak, the president has not spoken about it. And recall that for the past 1 year, we introduced human sexual rights and family values bill again to Parliament. When it even passed the gazetting and found expression in the order paper, the next day there was an order from Jubilee House instructing the Speaker and the Majority Leader, Mahama, to remove it. Indeed, they removed it the next day.
Now say that again. The bill was announced.
The bill was listed on the order paper.
To start the process.
To start to be laid for first reading. And consequential referral to the committees to invite the sponsors for consideration. When it appeared, we couldn't take it that day. So we thought that perhaps we have many items on the order paper, and as the practice of the House is, the next day we will have the opportunity to take it. The next day we came, and did not even find expression. It has been deleted. It had been Nicodemously deleted from the order paper. When we raised questions, they said, Honorable Mahama, the Majority Leader, blamed it on Speaker. The Speaker said he knew nothing about the bill being advertised. So we had to wait for Speaker to come the following week to give his ruling. Speaker gave his ruling that there's nothing wrong with the bill and that it must come back. To date, anytime we had raised it on the floor of Parliament several times, every week on week, when we meet our business committee, when we meet to approve business statements, we raise it, they keep pushing it away. They are even afraid to list it on the order paper.
Has Sam George been also raising
it? He has not raised anything. And Paul, what they intend to do is that until they exit IMF, they will not list it. They don't even want us to discuss the bill until they exit IMF.
What does that have a relationship between exiting IMF
because
at the middle of this year?
Because the indications they are giving is that even discussing these matters, because when the president made pronouncement that he was going to introduce his government-sponsored bill related to this matter to cure the mischiefs that stakeholders and overwhelming 93% of Ghanaians want to cure, the kind of the kind of reactions he got. Now, when was the last time you heard the president state his commitment that he's going to state-sponsor a bill like this? Now, he zipped. He never mentioned it again. And even the one that was already had been passed in Parliament but faced controversies, and had been agreed upon by President Mahama that when he comes to power, when he was in opposition, that the first thing he would do is to sign it into bill. Now he comes to power, and then he's even preventing it from being listed on the other paper. That is the deception of NDC.
Yes, other force what you say. Not just say I indirectly no. Mahama now was say I Sam George Mekaipa was say Mahama will never know peace until his son LGBTQ plus nens when ne and now no can see Ghana. That's Ghana for you. So what I say almost pussy could have education system. Send your baby and be practicing from there. Then your moon in Hey Ghana. Ebe yi bebeche